Okay. We'll just wait a minute or two, I think, Natalie, if that's all right with you.
Yeah. Yeah, there should be another few joining us.
Yeah, they're going to be tomorrow around 10 o'clock. Are they going to be okay? Yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we can probably get started.
Yep, that's
because we're
fine.
recording it anyway, aren't we?
And we're recording, so
Yeah.
Perfect. So thank you, and welcome to kind of our first of its kind, our 2025 season opener. Just to introduce myself, I'm Natalie Justice Stern, the current Chief Executive of Rounders England, and I've been here since the back end of 2019. So yeah, navigated through COVID and obviously everything since. And I'm joined by Natalie, another Natalie Ward, who's our Director of Marketing and Communications. So the idea really around today, I will apologise first of all if there's background noise, because I'm actually in London, been at a Commonwealth Games event, which is quite apt for some of the discussions tonight. I found a quiet as corner as I could find before getting the train back, just to do this and to go through this presentation. So the main idea is we wanted to provide the community and partners and organisations with a general update on what we've been up to, changes to our strategic vision, Rounders Reconnected, our new membership, and some other exciting things that we've got coming up and planned over the next 6 months. Before we start, I just wanted to give a few headlines of things that we're really proud of, especially in the last kind of 12 to 18 months, but obviously more so since we launched this strategy in 2022. So last year we had the highest number of events that has ever taken place and the highest number of participants, which is just fantastic. We launched Play Rounders, our social rounders program, and mixed social leagues, and that's growing kind of week by week basis. So that's fantastic to get that off the ground as well. Our schools engagement through our schools affiliation grew exponentially, which is fantastic. Just helping that engagement with schools and teachers and what have you to make sure we can communicate and engage with them. We developed some new partnerships, for example, with IDA, which is obviously the football boot, which we know a lot of Rounders players play, that are made specifically for females, which is fantastic. And we, well, not launched, but kind of our sporting heritage program took place over last year, which really to kind of bring to life the heritage and history around the sport, which is really, really important to us, and obviously was something that we don't want to lose. So through Funding for Sporting Heritage, that was fantastic to kind of get that up and running at a lot of our events and start to get things together that we can now start to display a Heritage Key, and it will culminate in a documentary that we'll be launching and putting out to the public at the end of May, which is just really exciting. And lastly, really proud of an industry award that we won, National Governing Body of the Year, which I am told that if we had a camera on the announcement being made on Natalie and Catherine, our chair, when it was announced that we beat the likes of World Netball, British Cycling, and a few others. Rounders England winning that was just a huge accolade, but just go to show in terms of our profile and growth of Rounders and Rounders England. So yeah, really proud of that. So onto our agenda for tonight. I'm just going to run you through probably no more than 30 minutes. If you do have any questions, if you are listening live, then obviously there is a Q&A opportunity there, and we'll try and pick those up as we go. Equally, you can send those through to us on email. If it's something comes up later that that you thought of, and once you're reflecting on what we talked about. So we're going to go through changes and an update of our strategy Rounders Reconnected. Just bring you up to speed with our new membership, which was launched earlier on this year. Rules review, which is happening this year, and life membership and what that means. And two new things coming through: agenda project that we're looking at this year, which I'll explain more about, and a new campaign that we're looking to launch, which is, like I say, really exciting. Okay, so on to our strategy around as Reconnected. So most of you should know or will know that we launched Rounders Reconnected after a year-long consultation back in 2022. So 3 years in, we wanted to review where we're at, make any changes where necessary, and make sure that it is relevant based on kind of our experience of delivery over the last few years, our insight and consultation with our community in delivering that. Our values still remain the same, and they guide us as we're delivering the strategy and against all our goals. So as you're aware, we have 4 main posts of focus. First of all, to grow Rounders, does what it says on the tin, which I'll go through that in a moment. Engage people and our community. Provide relevant and exciting competition and talent pathway for people to be involved in the sport, and to champion and raise the profile of Rounders. So first of all, if I could just take you to the top left-hand corner, post 1, which is our grow post. When this was launched in 2022, we had a target of 1 million people playing the sport by 2032. We've actually, the change this year on our 3-year review is to increase that and double it to 2 million people, which is fantastic. As you can sort of imagine, it's great to be able to do that. Much of that is what our data and insight shows, is that just under 1 million people are playing now. Now, that's not under 1 million people playing week in, week out in a competitively, but it's people that have played Rounders and that do play Rounders. So we're now clear on how we want to measure this. So this is why we've increased that target to 2 million people. So in terms of our data and how we measure that is a combination of our own rich data that we get from our engaged community, being at the core of how we measure that, and then also using like Sport England Active Lives, which is a kind of nationwide survey that's taken place by Sport England, and they feed back into us. So using from that, and it's still an important part of this post of focus is tackling inequalities, and using Rounders to tackle inequalities still remains a focus for us, because we know that Rounders does a fantastic job of doing just that, either getting people active who maybe aren't active, or getting people back into the sport, because using the USP that everybody loves Rounders, which we know when you speak to people, that's what they say. So using that USP to get people active, but also the accessible nature of the sport, a sport that people love, doesn't cost loads of money, people can wear what they want, and effectively play with, 4 jumpers for post, sorry, and and a bat and a ball. So that still remains a huge focus for us. So yeah, we're really, really proud to kind of increase that target for grow. The next one on the top right is engage. And this target remains the same, but what we wanted to make clear is who and how we're measuring this and what that narrative means. So you'll see in there, it's about evolving our membership offer, our core, to support and service our players, but also involving volunteers, workforce, and a community of 100,000 people by 2032. Now, what we mean by that, if you think of kind of an onion layer, at the core of that is our membership, and they're the really engaged people that that kind of make up that core of that, but then layering out to then hopefully be in a position where we are communicating and talking to 100,000 people. They're engaged with us, they want to hear what we're about, and they're essentially part of that Rounders community and part of that Rounders family. So again, we're kind of really excited to make sure that we're just tweaking so people understand exactly what that means, based on the fact that we now have an increased insight and understanding of our community and our audience. The third one in the blue box is compete. We've changed this slightly, but developing our talent pathway and competition structure still remains a key area for us. We're really proud of the evolving talent pathway that we have, providing kind of accessible, regular performance environment for people, for our workforce and our players through the regional hubs. And it's a testament to those involved, what it's happened to date, and obviously it is growing. And we hope to reignite the kind of national fixtures program and international, whether it be home nations or international competitions in the coming years, based on kind of our talent pathway that we've got there. The change that we've got here is about what national competition structure could look like, and through consultation and through our regional and national competition structure, this has changed slightly from what was a national league structure to a national knockout cup structure. So think FA Cup. So that kind of thing is what we're striving for now, and we think that will provide us with something that's really exciting, but also something that's commercially viable. So meaning that it becomes sustainable in the future, and that will involve, can involve people up and down the country at whatever level of Rounders they're playing, but it brings them into a kind of a national a knockout structure. So we're really excited about that. So that's the kind of slight change that we've got there to what our goal was. And then finally, champion, the one green, nothing changes there. So that still remains the same. But what I did want to do was just so people understand what we mean about this. And it's quite apt for me today. I'm at the home of the Commonwealth Games, Commonwealth Nations in the Marlborough House in London, where we've just been talking about traditional sports against modern sports and how we need to modernise but still use traditional sports. So it's fantastic to kind of be here and to understand how we do this. So raising the profile remains absolutely critical. It came up when we did our consultation for our strategy. It came up time and time again about raising the profile of the sport. So we work hard to communicate better with the community, which we do, and to get to the eyeballs of people who maybe aren't even aware that Rounders or Rounders England is a thing, and it's something they can play now outside of their school memories. So that's critical for us, and raising the awareness across the sport and health sector, and essentially getting Rounders part of conversations and lobbying for the sport. Our vision around being Commonwealth Games ready is carefully written, and it was carefully written when we wrote this. And it's about using that vision as a North Star to really develop kind of our footing internationally and nationally, and using the values of Commonwealth and the Commonwealth Games around sport for development, around cohesion, inclusivity, and using that in the hope that Rounders will become a Commonwealth Games sport in whatever directive the Commonwealth Games future looks like. So that is still our North Star, and it's still really important to really kind of project how important this is to us in terms of the profile of Rounders. So that's kind of an explanation really of why we have this, the Commonwealth Games ready as a key goal for us. The things that underpin our strategy are our fielders, are essentially our enablers. They haven't changed. Our digital development, our governance, and our partnerships, they still underpin how we deliver this. So they haven't changed within this kind of review period that we've done. So I hope, like I say, you agree that those tweaks and changes, kind of just bring it to life and bring it more relevant to how we're delivering the strategy at the moment. But as always really keen to understand, take feedback, and take any ideas on board of how we can kind of develop this further. Okay, so next on to our membership. So moving on to that, you'll have hopefully seen we launched a new membership structure earlier this year, and a huge thanks to everybody who helped shape that through our consultation exercise to get it to what it looks like today. It's been centered around our people with a more succinct and easy to navigate structure, depending on your involvement with the sport. So that's been key to us, is really developing the how we communicate and how our membership plays out to those people that are involved. So if we look at it from an individual's point of view, I won't go through exactly what each benefit is and what have you, but as a summary, initially, it's our first step on this ladder really is play. £5 a year, and that is basically where you're a player that just loves Rounders and wants to be part of that Rounders community. Moving on to compete, and this is where it's basically, it does what it says on the tin. It's for people playing and competing in the sport. So with that, you get public, personal accident and public liability, and it covers the benefit and benefits you that are playing competitively within the community. £10 a year, equivalent to 19 pence a week, and what's that if you're covered and to enjoy your favourite sport. And the next one is around an umpire, so you get the same as compete, but you get specific liability cover being an umpire. And then moving on to coach, similar, you get all the same benefits, but then you get specific liability and cover for being a coach. And then the last one is exactly what it says. It's an all-rounder. We have got a lot of people in our community that do it all. They're an advocate of the sport, they compete and play, they also umpire, they coach, they're probably the club secretary or whatever. So that's the all-rounder. That means that you kind of get everything, and you basically, wear all hats all of the time. The key thing here with our individual membership is underpinning all of this is around being part of the Rounders community and building a sustainable future for the sport. We cannot do what we do as a national governing body without our members and without that investment that we get and use from our members. So it's essential for us to get this right, because it's an essential part for us growing and continue to develop and to develop the sport. Early signs since we launched this new membership is positive. And again, it's growing, and we're in a better position than we were 12 months ago. So something's landing well. But again, always keen to take questions, feedback, ideas, and thoughts on how we can move and develop and kind of make it land better for you. Okay, so then moving on to leagues, clubs, and teams as part of our membership. This kind of, it is new, but not quite new, because we've always kind of had a membership for teams and leagues, but not necessarily leagues. So for us, community engaging and supporting our leagues, clubs, and teams is critical. Not only does it help us understand who and how Rounders is being played, but it helps us ensure that you're operating in a safe and supportive environment, that we're giving you the right support to do that. We're acutely aware that volunteering to run a league, team, or a club, whilst rewarding, it's not an easy task. So we want to make sure that we can make it easy as possible for you to do that, and that we're supporting you with the things that you need. So affiliated leagues, first of all, receive support that's bespoke for you to help you do the things that you do in all areas, whether it's advice, training, development. But we also want to help you sustain the league. So that's why we've put in there around a league kickback program. So a 10% kickback for the league for any members that come through that league. And I think, again, that's just something, it's around, we're trying to ensure that the leagues are kind of advocating for us as well, but it also helps you, if there's a bit of money that can go into your pot for the end of season presentation or the trophies or whatever, then things like, or providing first aid kits for teams that are in your league, then things like that are always helpful. So that's kind of why we're in there. We're really keen to kind of increase the number of leagues affiliated with us. For all the reasons I've said earlier, it's important for us to know that we're supporting in the right way, and also that we're to understand what's really out there and who's really playing. Then moving on to club registration, it's free. We know many clubs pay a registration fee to their league, so we kind of don't want to hit you on the head twice by saying you've got to pay your registration for the league, but also pay a registration to us. So the main priority around this is supporting our amazing clubs and teams in providing a safe, welcoming, and inclusive environment. And in terms of doing that, to register as a club, what you need is 2 or more paid up members within your club. And again, I won't go through exactly what you get there, but you do get the team's liability insurance, support with welfare training, basic first aid courses, listing, so there's lots of things, access to our kind of Rounders England events. So when we do look at a knockout cup, then that's going to be part of it. So it's around, for us, the key thing is really supporting, understanding our Rounders community out there. It doesn't matter whether you play to the exactly same rules as Rounders England in your local community. No, that matters. You're playing Rounders, and if there's little kind of changes in that and adaptations in the rules that work for you locally, it's fine. It's all Rounders. The rules side of it for us matters when you're playing in like a national competition or regional competition. But the key thing is, if you're a Rounders club, then hopefully one of these memberships or Rounders player, one of these will fit for you, and we're able to continue to support you, and also you can help us grow what we do, which is, like I say, is vital to the growth of the sport. Okay, and moving on next to rules review. So 2025 is year of rules review. These come around, I think it's every 3 years. I think, if I've got my calculations right, and it's basically an opportunity for our membership. So you have to be a member to be part of the rules review. Membership are asked for proposals for any changes to the official Rounders rules. Now, like I said, this is the official Rounders rules that are in the rule book. It's not about local adaptations or about other adaptations like indoor Rounders. This is the kind of outdoor kind of full pitch Rounders rules, and that's for the new rule book that will be published and in place by 2026. So you can see on the timeline there what we will go through. So our members will get an official notice for the rules review and the process for submission in April, so next month, well, very soon, with a deadline for receipt of proposals. And then we have those proposals get circulated to a working group, a technical working group made up of umpires, trainers, and coaches, and people that have been involved in the sport and the rules for quite some time. And then they'll review those, whether it's a rule change or whether it's just a hint or whether it's just something that needs to be communicated better. Then now those, if it is a rule change, that I'd then go out proposals in June to the members, and then we'll have an extraordinary general meeting for a voting of any rule changes to be passed, and then the official rule books in whatever format will be published then for the 2026 season. So again, it's a really important of our membership is people having a say on what these rules are. If there's something that keeps occurring that you think something's not right here, or a rule's not understood because of the way it's written, then this is a real key part of getting that right. Okay, so the next one, on to life membership. Again, this is also something that is taking place in 2025, and we just wanted to use this opportunity to talk about what that is. And what it is, it sees us asking the Rounders community for nominations for life members. So this is a great way of the community and us recognising those in the community who have made a significant contribution to the sport. So it's any current member of Rounders England can nominate another member for the position of life member. There is a proposal form that will come out, and then it will be discussed, and it goes through to board to consider each nomination, and then if that nomination is successful, that member will be invited to the next AGM and receive a certificate, pin badge, and it is what it is. They basically become a life member of our sport. Names on the website and blah blah blah. So it's a real kind of way to recognise you know, some of those fantastic people that have been advocates for our sport for quite some time. So you'll see there a timeline in June. The communications will come out to the community, outlining the voting procedure, nominations procedure, and then September will be the closing date for nominations, ready for the announcements in October at the AGM. Okay, so then moving on to a couple of new projects and new things that we just wanted to get out there. One is kind of as part of our values of Rounders England, around keeping Rounders moving forward. That's one of our huge values. So we continue to find the best way to ensure everybody can take part in a fun, inclusive and safe environment. And it's with this in mind, we've commissioned Loughborough University to research into whether Rounders is a gender affected sport or not, because that's something that we don't have any evidence of, any testing around whether Rounders is a gender affected sport. And that is on, when I say gender affected, it's based on meaningful competition around strength, skill, and a few different things. And it's not something that we have got any research or any scientific evidence base to go off. So we're really pleased to commission Loughborough University to research into this for us. The principal reason for doing this has been, whilst we're developing and reviewing our transgender and non-binary policy, this is a question that we couldn't answer with confidence, whether Rounders is or isn't a gender affected sport. So this is why we've commissioned this for this year. And it's centered around, the key thing is it's centered around the definition of meaningful competition. Because again, when you talk about meaningful competition with a lot of other sports, you talk about professional side of the sports, or people that are paid to train, or that sport is their job. But for us, it's around what we define as that meaningful competition, and then how we use that and how gender does affect that or doesn't. And it's obviously going to be based around a number of things around strength, skill and stamina, but also technical and tactical play as well. So it's a first for Rounders, like I say, and we really look forward to kind of seeing what at the back end of this year, what the outcomes of that research is. Again, if anybody's got any thoughts, questions, or ideas or interest in this area of work, then please you know, do kind of drop us an email, and we will try and keep people obviously in the loop of this as the project is ongoing throughout the year. So, and my last one and the final kind of new announcement or new project that I wanted to talk to you about, it's something we're really kind of excited to share with you. So the one thing since I started at Rounders England that has always struck me is how passionate and the passionate advocates that we have in the community, that Rounders would not be where it is today if it wasn't for the people that are either part of the history but also part of the future of the sport. Now, I make no apologies in addressing the fact that every sport and every organisation has its financial challenges, and we're not exempt from that as a national governing body. So we have to look at different ways to diversify our income to ensure that we can continue to work for our members and grow our sport. And this is one way that we really want to try and do this. If you think alongside of football fans buying a brick at the local football ground, or even nature fans sponsoring a tree through the National Forest, it's using that and using the kind of pay it forward campaign or whatever that we have, and that's why it's aptly called Play It Forward. And it's around really trying to engage our advocates for our community to help us to continue to do what we do, but also by giving something back to the sport they love. So what this is, it's around having a finite number of spaces each year for people to effectively donate to the sport. By getting back, what they'll get is a limited edition piece of merchandise for every year they're part of it. So no, we can't do the break at the the football ground or the physical space because we don't have that. So we've had to think a bit innovatively of how we do that. So everybody loves merchandise, especially if it's limited. So that's why each year every member of the Play It Forward Club, supporters club, will get a limited edition piece of merchandise. What we'll also do is provide up to 50 Rounders kits to schools and community organisations across the country. So again, a way of us going, actually, we really want to continue to develop what we do. We know that funding in schools is really limited. Community organisations really struggled on a startup. So can we provide the kit using the funds generated from our Play It Forward Club? So we have individuals who will join in 2025. They will have their names in the rule book as a founder of the Play It Forward Club. They'll also feature on the Play It Forward supporter page on our website. But then we'll also have businesses and organisations who are welcome to become a supporter or a family group or whatever, so become a supporter of this, and they'll receive an opportunity to have a logo and a short bio with a backlink on the website on the Play It Forward supporters page, and there'll be discounted rates and what have you, and they will also receive some kind of limited edition merchandise as well. So for us, this is kind of really exciting. It's something we've never done before. We don't know how it will land, but for us, it's about how we engage further our real advocates for our sport and how people feel they're part of developing Rounders. We are on a growth trajectory. We're on a growth journey. We don't have the resource to meet the demand of the current growth that people want from us. So it's how can we look at doing that? We don't just want to be reliant on funding or what have you, and government kind of funding pots for the future, because we never know what that's going to look like. And the last thing we want to do is to be in a position where we can't grow and develop in the way that we know that there is an opportunity to do so. So this is like a really exciting part to just bring people that love the sport together, and to give something back to maybe, to the sport that they kind of enjoyed, within their life. So yeah, it's exciting. Like I said, we don't know how it'll go, but information will be coming out, and this is the first of us announcing it. So we hope people will like it, and kind of join us on this kind of Play It Forward journey as well. And that is the last of our kind of update. Just to summarize, obviously, if anybody's got any questions or anything that they want to send through to us afterwards, that's not a problem, because the idea of this is it's being recorded and can be shared and people can listen to it. But we're really excited about this coming season. There's lots of exciting things that we've got coming ahead. We've got sold out events, we've got new events, we've got new projects, we've got Play Rounders venues and things popping up all over the place, and we've got some new courses, and hopefully an easier, more accessible way of accessing some of our training. So it's been, I won't even say close season, because we don't have a close season anymore, because we've got that much indoor Rounders and other stuff going on, but it's been a busy time to really get prepared for what is set to be a really exciting season this year. So thanks very much, and I hope that's been useful. Hope it's been informative. And like I said, please do feedback with anything that you've got any questions or anything that maybe hasn't come across as clear tonight. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thanks all.